Instead, diatem parasinton progegonaton hamartematon means in order that God could pass over sins in the past unpunished. In other words, God has shown his righteousness by sacrificing Jesus Christ, his only Son, because God wanted to forgive our sins in the past. Let me ask a simple questions. Why did God send Jesus to us? Why did God manifest his righteousness? God sent Jesus and showed his righteousness to us so that we sinners could be declared righteous and saved from his upcoming judgment. Not that he could avoid a kind of self criticism. In addition, the Greek preposition dear has a lexical meaning of in the interest of or for the sake of, as is the case of Romans chapter 4, verse 25. We'll be going to see the lexical meaning and then the contextual meaning of diaten, parasinton, progegonaton, hamartematon, respectively. First, when you interpret the latter part of Romans chapter 3, verse 25, it is no doubt the word means to pass over or let go unpunished. The biggest issue here is how we would interpret the preposition dear with the accusative, which would change the whole message. On the contrary to the understanding of most theologians, the preposition dear here means in the interest of or for the sake of rather than because of. We can see such uses of dear in a verse that is quite close to Romans chapter verse 25 in Romans chapter 4 verse 23 to verse 25. But the words it was counted to him were not written for his sake alone, but for ours also. It will be counted to us who believe in him, who raised from the dead Jesus our Lord, who was delivered up for our trespasses and raised for our justification. From these verses, we can find four of the preposition dear, all of which read for the sake of or in the interest of. Specifically, it is far better in the meaning to interpret Romans chapter 4 verse 25 as who was delivered up in order to forgive our trespasses and raised in order to justify us than interpret to dear in the verse as because of. Jesus didn't die simply because we had committed trespasses. He had no obligation to die simply because we had sinned, which was not caused by him, and thus he was not responsible for. It is not a cause and effect relation between our sins and his death. Rather, he died in order to forgive our sins because he wanted to save us. Furthermore, it would be ridiculous if we translated the idea in the latter part of Romans 4:25 into Jesus was raised because we had been counted righteous. It must be interpreted as Jesus was raised in order that we can be counted righteous. The same meaning of the preposition dia can be found in Romans chapter 3 verse 25. When you consider the context of Romans chapter 3 verse 25, the interpretation of Romans chapter 3 verse 25 as in order to pass over our sins is the best option of its possible lexical meanings. Moreover, as we see above, the preposition dia has a lexical basis for meaning for the sake of, in the interest of, as is the case of Romans chapter 4, verse 25. Also, this interpretation is consistent with the context of Romans chapter 3, verse 25, and the rest of Romans, as we will see below.